We know this is a lot of heavy news tonight. Violence affecting our kids here at home and 1,600 miles away in Texas. And tonight, so many parents are finding themselves preparing for or already having some tough conversations with their children. I want to bring in Dr. Linda McGhee, a clinical psychologist. And Dr. McGhee, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I guess the question really is, how do we start this kind of difficult conversation?
Well, I say first, make the space to have that conversation. Don't try to do it on the fly. Sit down with your children and have the space to start talking about this. And of course, as I always say, do it in a developmentally appropriate way. Reassure them that you're doing your best to make it as safe for them as possible, that schools are generally safe. And again, with the little children, elementary school kids, you want to reassure them that they're safe. The middle school and high school children are going to have more opinions and thoughts about violence in schools and all of the policy issues. So you want to really emphasize to them, answer their questions, try to be as truthful as you can. But Leslie, I want to just say that we have to do this all in the backdrop of everything else that's going on. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. And so our children are stressed. And so I want to emphasize that point, that we still have to be cognizant of the fact that we're talking to them in light of the fact that they're already stressed and anxious and depressed at record levels. And so we want to gauge and calibrate how we talk to them based on the fact that they're already stressed. And, we may want to let up a little bit on these kinds of discussions based on where your child is right now.
So if your child hasn't asked you about it, or maybe they're younger and they don't know about it, it sounds like you still need to start having a conversation because they may hear it. They may overhear kids talking about it at school. How do you even start it with the younger ones? What do you say to them?
I would presume that they would all know, first of all. I would not presume that they don't know, because they talk to each other, and even children as young as elementary school have access to social media. If not, their friends do. And so you want to start with just the basic facts about what happened. Children were hurt in a school and their teacher was hurt. And you want to just start with the basics. You want to have a discussion and give them opportunity to ask questions. And then you want to maintain some sort of normalcy, maintain your home routines and your family's routines. But you don't want to run away from it. You don't want to avoid questions, and you don't want silence, because children fill in all gaps and they make presumptions and they jump to conclusions and they have fantasies in their minds about what actually is happening if you create that void by your silence. Your silence is saying something to them. It's probably not what you want it to, though. So don't avoid it.
There are some kids who are still traumatized here in our city from the shooting that happened near Edmund Burke School and the tentacles for that. There were a lot of kids who were locked down, not just at the school. And of course, the children there had a very different traumatic experience, and we are still thinking of them. I wonder, how do you answer a question if your child says to you, am I going to be safe at school? Because we have to be careful how we answer that question.
Well, that's why I started out by saying, contrary to some advice, is that to say that we're doing our best to make you as safe as possible, and without guaranteeing ultimate safety. I just feel like that right now we should be honest. We should say schools are generally a safe place for children. Very few things happen to children in school, but we also want to empower them by looking out for themselves and keeping alert. So we want to talk to them about being active participants in their own safety. And you can do that in a way, again, depending on the developmental age of your child, in a way that doesn't frighten them. You reassure them about the general safety of schools, and you help them to be participants in their own safety.
This is heavy for the little ones, the middle ones, and the high schoolers, but also for parents who are thinking about parents tonight who will not have the chance to tuck in their children and have these last conversations? How do we make sure that we're okay in the scope of these kinds of conversations?
Again, parents report their own mental health is under stress. A third of Americans are reporting signs of depression or anxiety right now. So my message to you as parents is to take care of yourself. And you too limit your social media exposures and your news exposures. No offense, Leslie, but to turn it off sometimes, and to really take care of yourself and to bring your family close, to reassure yourself and your kids of general safety. But this is a time too to talk to kids about respecting others, loving others, respecting differences. Because we see that we are becoming more and more divisive. And I just want to emphasize that is that you can't divorce all of this talk from divisiveness, and to just really talk to our children about loving and caring and respecting others' in differences.
Well, we should be doing that even when we're not dealing with this kind of heartbreaking situation. It is insightful
Absolutely.
information for all of us. Dr. Linda McGhee, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you for having me, Leslie.